As we enter inside the Swift Escape 664, we first come to the step. On this model it is manual, so we just pull it out and push it back. As we now come in and turn round, above the entrance door we have the control panel. You will see first we have power. So this is 12 volts on. This needs to be on for you to be able to charge the leisure battery whilst being hooked up to the main supply, which is shown here. Next we have the water pump. So this turns the water pump on and off so we can get water out of our taps, flush the toilet, fill the boiler if it's been drained. Next we have battery select. So you'll see we're currently using the leisure battery. If I now press, we've now switched over to the vehicle battery and we're now running the back end off this. Whichever battery is selected when you're hooked up to the main supply, this is the one that's being charged. I'm now switching back to the leisure. Next one is view levels, so it will give condition of the vehicle battery, condition of the leisure battery, how much water is in the fresh tank and how much water is in the waste tank. We then have a main isolator for all the lights on board. And then we also have a button for the awning light. Next, we have the location of the consumer unit. I've already removed the cushions from the travel seats. You will see the Sargent consumer unit just here. So we have the main trip switches just there with the test button. And we have the 12 volt fuses just there. They are all labelled up and then correspond on the sticker just here. Running along the top we have isolators for components that use main supply. So we have a button for the water heater on the mains and a button for the space heater on the mains. So if we turn these off they will just not work. We then have an isolator for the battery charger. Again, if we turn this off, we will not be charging the batteries when we're hooked up. And then this one here will illuminate in red if you have reverse polarity connected to the van. If you do have reverse polarity, this will illuminate up and it will automatically reverse it for you. These buttons here will really only give us condition of the leisure battery, condition of the vehicle battery, and the amps being used. You can't do anything else with these, they are for workshop use. And then lastly we have full system shutdown. So if you're not using the vehicle for a month or so, you can press this button here and it will shut down the back end and stop any residual draw on the leisure battery. Also in here we have the battery charger itself. Underneath this bench seat here we just have the back of the battery box and the main 25 amp fuse. Next we have the Truma Fire. If you are going to use it on gas, you need to come to the thermostat just here. I usually turn it right the way round to the maximum, hold it in and then push the igniter. Once it's lit, when you let go you will usually get a whoosh, but you can also peer for the pilot light in this little window here. To turn it back off again, just rotate back round to 0. If you are going to use this fire using the electric element in it, you need to come round to where the bed is located and come round to this point just here. If you wish to use the boiler on gas, firstly make sure that the cover is off outside and the gas is turned on, and then flick this one down here and then the boiler will automatically ignite itself and you can then heat your hot water from a very low 30 degrees right the way up to a very hot 70 degrees. If it fails to light, a red light will appear in this window here. Next we have the controls for the electric element in the fire. You'll see we're currently off. If I now flick the outer dial up, we're now running the fire on 2 kilowatts. If we flick it back to off and then down, we're now running it on 500 watts. And then if I flick it down again, we're now running it on 1 kilowatt. This is really dependent on the ampage of the site that you're on. Picking different power settings will stop you from tripping. You then control the temperature on the inner dial here. Next we have the fridge. The fridge is off at this point here. Gas just here. If you're going to use it on gas, as soon as you put it onto this, the igniter will start to spark. Just come across to your temperature control and hold it in, and when it's lit, the red line will drift out of the white into the green, as it's doing just now. Let go, and as long as it stays in the green, you know you're lit. The next setting is main supply when you're hooked up, and then the last one is 12 volt maintain for when you are driving. It uses the engine battery to keep the unit cold, and then just literally pull the door to open. After that, we then have the hob. So it is just push in, twist and press your igniter for each one. Okay, simple as that. And then the oven and grill. For the oven, push in to the left and then push in to the right for the grill. Next we have the Omnivent fan. This can be used to extract or cool. To open the roof vent, just wind just here, and then to turn it on and off, just come here. You've got a fan speed of 1, 2 and 3, and then we can extract and cool. Do make sure that the vent is down for travel. Next we have the washroom. So we have the basin just here. All the taps are all the same, just mixers. Same with the shower. And then we have the shower curtain that pulls round. Standard Thetford toilet. Just twist round, and then to open to the cassette, just on the grey lever down here. So just slide it, and then slide it back to close. And then to flush, just push the blue button on the top, and you will get an illumination here to let you know when the cassette is full. If we now go underneath the fixed bed, this is on gas struts. You will see the Truma boiler just here. To drain down the Truma boiler for winterization, just lift up this lever just here, and all the water will start to drain out. Do make sure the water pump is turned off, or else it will just frantically try to refill it. as I've left the water pump on, if I now close this up again, if I now go across the water pump, in a second this will stop because the boiler will be refilled. There we are. When you have completely drained your system down, so you've drained your fresh tank, your waste tank and the boiler, all you then need to do to fill it back up again is make sure this is down like so, fill up your fresh tank, turn the water pump on, and it will start to prime it up. You will need to then open the taps up to bleed all the air out. Once the water is running freely, you can then close the taps and the system will be fully primed. It is always a good idea when you've completely drained down the system that you leave the taps open. That way, if there is a harsh frost, the water will be forced out the end of the tap and not split the pipework. To drain down the fresh water tank, all you need to do is come to the fresh water tank, which is located also underneath the bed. Take the cap off. Like so. And then literally in the bottom is a bung. And you just pull the bung out and it will then drain the water. To drain down your waste tank, we do have to just quickly step back outside again. And if we come back outside, the waste drain is just located just here. Just literally turn the tap to drain the wastewater away. To heat your hot water on main supply, all you do need to do is just come to the consumer unit here and just turn the water heater on and off just here. In this cupboard just here, we just have the drain and the drainer and the chopping board. And then underneath the oven we have a couple of gas isolation taps just there. They're both in the on position and they're colour coded and then match just here. There are gas isolation taps all around the motorhome wherever there's a gas appliance. Another two here. To be fair, they can all be left in the on position. I always say smell gas in the van, go to the gas bottle and turn it off.